The investigating officer in the Hilary Gardee matter says Sipho Mkhatshwa could kill witnesses if he's released on bail. In the witness box, Thamsanqa Mkhaliphi told the court that all the accused for the rape and murder of Gardee were overheard by inmates plotting to kill a witness. Mkhatshwa is applying for bail in the Nelspruit Magistrate court. His lawyers have argued that the state has no evidence to keep their client behind bars. While Zikhona Tshona was in court today. Zikhona, of course, it's been a really big week. You had, number one, the family of Mkhatshwa coming before the court and making a statement for why they believe he should be released and why he's been wrongfully arrested. And you you take that and you put it up against what the state is arguing, very differing versions of the role that the suspect could have played in this murder.
In fact, the state has been consistent in arguing that it believes it has a strong case against the accused. But of course, there are also crucial missing elements in this case. Their DNA results, for example, are not available. The cell phone records have also not been made available to the court. So Mkhatshwa's lawyers have been arguing that for now, the state seems to have a weak case against Mkhatshwa, but the investigating officer taking to the stand today and saying that them, through their investigation, have linked the suspect to this murder. He has confessed to 2 witnesses, according to the investigating officer, and they say they've got those 2 witnesses that they expect or they are going to bring forward when the trial does begin. But the state also, Kathy, arguing that Mkhatshwa cannot be released on bail because they cannot guarantee the safety of those witnesses. They say those witnesses, in fact, live in the area where Mkhatshwa is from and therefore can't guarantee their safety. As you've mentioned, the state is planning to add a charge of conspiracy to commit murder against all 3 accused in this case. They were allegedly overheard by inmates plotting to kill one of the witnesses, and it's said to be one of these 2 witnesses at least. So the state saying bail is simply not something that they can argue for this accused, given the fact that all the odds, according to their investigation, seem to be against him. But Mkhatshwa's lawyers have been very vocal in court in wanting concrete evidence that links their client to this case. You remember in the past we heard the prosecutor bringing before the court that there is evidence, according to the investigating officer, that Mkhatshwa's phone was traced in close proximity with that of Hilary Gardee around the time that which she disappeared. Today in court we heard from the investigating officer himself that evidence is in fact not yet available. So Mkhatshwa's phone was traced in Nelspruit, according to the investigating officer, but it's not clear as to whether it was in close proximity with that of Hilary Gardee's or not, as previously indicated by the prosecutor in this case.
When we look at the issue of trying to trace where the suspects were, of course, there was a matter where Mkhatshwa's fiancé, I believe it was, who was giving evidence and who said, well, he had made a deposit at a bank that effectively created some form of alibi for him. Is that something that the court has been able to admit?
So yesterday, Mkhatshwa's lawyers brought forward bank statements to try and sort of locate him around the time that Hilary Gardee went missing. So she went missing on the 29th of April and was found on the 3rd of May. So those bank statements were meant to try and not locate him in Nelspruit around that time. But the prosecutor then raised the fact that the bank statement itself, Mkhatshwa says he went inside a branch around the 29th of April, but the bank statement does not actually indicate where this branch is and at what time this branch was visited. But that has handed over to the court as evidence in this trial, but it's not clear yet how it would fit into the bigger picture of this case. We know that Mkhatshwa has been consistent in maintaining that he was nowhere near Nelspruit around the time that Hilary Gardee went missing, to the point at which her body was found. He's insisted that during that time he was in fact busy with his preparations for his lobola negotiations. But of course, we then have the investigating officer coming out today to state that his cell phone was traced around Nelspruit CBD, but it's not clear exactly where in Nelspruit CBD. But this is why his lawyers, Mkhatshwa's lawyers, are saying, maybe then conclude the investigation and release my client out on bail while you conclude that the state then says it needs at least 2 more months in order for it to conclude the investigations into this matter. So his lawyers are arguing that it's not fair then to keep their client in jail while they conclude the investigation. So they are arguing that he should be released. But of course, Kathy, it's also important to note that tomorrow the other 2 accused in this case, Philemon Lukele as well as Albert Gama, will be applying for their bail here at the Nelspruit Magistrates Court.
All right, Zikhona Tshona, we'll leave it there for tonight.